In the vast sun-drenched grasslands of South Sudan, a remarkable relationship between humans and animals unfolds. Here, along the fertile banks of the White Nile, live the Mundari people. They are one of the world's last great cattle-herding cultures. For centuries, their lives have been woven into the rhythm of the seasons and the needs of their herds. The landscape here is a sweeping canvas of flat plains and scattered acacia trees. It is a world where the horizon seems to stretch on forever. The air itself hums with the sounds of nature and the lowing of cattle, a constant reminder of what is most precious in this ancient land. The story of the Mundari is part of a much larger human saga. They belong to the Nilotic peoples, a family of ethnic groups who have long inhabited the Nile Valley. Their ancestors began a great migration centuries ago, moving south from the upper regions of the Nile. They were searching for fresh pastures and reliable water for their herds. This journey was not a single event, but a slow, gradual expansion across the African continent. The Mundari eventually settled in the lands they call home today, a territory perfectly suited to their pastoral way of life. Their history is not written in books, but in the songs they sing and the stories passed down through generations. Life in this part of the world is governed by two main seasons, the long dry period and the welcome life-giving rains. The Mundari have adapted to this cycle with incredible skill. When the rains arrive, the plains turn into a lush carpet of green, providing abundant food for their cattle. But when the dry season comes, the land becomes harsh and unforgiving. It is during these times that the Mundari must guide their herds closer to the river, where water and grazing can still be found. This seasonal movement is a dance of survival, a testament to their deep understanding of the natural world and its powerful rhythms. The Mundari are a striking people, known for their great height and slender athletic builds. Their connection to the land is visible in every aspect of their existence. They build their temporary camps with materials gathered from the surrounding environment. Their days begin before sunrise and end long after the sun has set. Every action, from tending the cattle to preparing meals, is done with a sense of purpose and tradition. To witness the Mundari is to see a culture in perfect harmony with its environment. It is a powerful reminder of a way of life that has sustained people on this continent for thousands of years. For the Mundari, cattle are not simply livestock. They are the very center of their universe. These magnificent animals, known as Ankole-Watusi, are famous for their enormous curving horns. A single cow can be worth a great fortune. Cattle represent wealth, status, and security. The more cattle a man owns, the more respected he is within the community. They are the currency of this society, used for trade, settling disputes, and most importantly for marriage. A man cannot hope to marry without being able to offer a substantial number of cattle to the bride's family. This tradition ensures that wealth is shared and alliances between families are forged. The bond between the Mundari and their cattle is astonishingly intimate. Each animal has a name and is treated with immense affection and care. Herders massage their favorite cows with fine ash to protect their skin from insects and the harsh sun. This ash, created by burning cattle dung, also gives the Mundari their distinctive ghostly grey appearance. In the evenings, they blow smoke into the faces of the cattle to keep flies away. They even use the cow's urine as an antiseptic and to wash their hair, which gives it a surprising reddish-orange tint. This is not just animal husbandry. It is a deep, spiritual partnership. Daily life revolves entirely around the well-being of the herd. At dawn, the young boys lead the cattle out to graze, while the men clean the camp and prepare for the day. The women and girls are responsible for milking the cows, a task performed with great skill. The milk forms a vital part of their diet, along with blood that is carefully drawn from the cow's neck without harming the animal. Every part of the cow is used. The dung is dried and burned as fuel, creating fires that smolder day and night. These fires are not just for cooking. Their smoke is a natural insect repellent that blankets the entire camp. The most prized cattle are the giants of the herd, bulls with horns that can span over 2 meters. These animals are more than just valuable possessions. They are symbols of strength and pride. Their owners compose songs and poems in their honor, celebrating their beauty and power. A man's identity is so closely linked to his favorite bull that he may even take its name for himself. This profound connection shows that for the Mundari, cattle are far more than a source of food or wealth. They are family members, spiritual companions, and the living heart of their culture. Among the Mundari, learning begins at a very young age. Children are not sent to formal schools, but are instead educated in the practical skills of survival and herding. From the moment they can walk, they are immersed in the world of cattle. Young boys spend their days with the herd, learning how to find the best grazing spots and protect the animals from predators. They learn to recognize each cow by its unique markings and temperament. This is their classroom, and the elders are their teachers. The lessons are taught through observation, practice, and the timeless stories that carry the wisdom of their ancestors. Community is everything in Mundari society. They live in large family groups, and everyone has a role to play in the collective well-being. The elders are deeply respected for their knowledge and experience. They are the keepers of tradition, the judges who resolve disputes, and the guides who make important decisions for the community, such as when and where to move the cattle camps. Their authority is not based on wealth, but on wisdom. This strong social structure creates a powerful sense of belonging and mutual support. In this often challenging environment, no one is left to fend for themselves. Marriage is a cornerstone of Mundari life and a vital community event. It is not just a union between 2 individuals, but an alliance between 2 families. The process is centered around the bride price, a payment of cattle from the groom's family to the bride's. This is not seen as buying a wife, but as a way of honoring her family and compensating them for the loss of a daughter. The negotiations can be long and complex, involving many members of both families. A successful marriage strengthens the bonds within the community and ensures its continuation for future generations. Personal identity is also deeply connected to the herd. When a young Mundari man comes of age, he is given a new name, the name of his favorite ox. This name becomes his primary identity, a symbol of his transition into manhood and his responsibility as a herder. He will be known by this ox name for the rest of his life. This practice highlights the inseparable bond between the people and their animals. It is a powerful declaration that to be Mundari is to be a guardian of cattle. The names themselves tell a story of pride, responsibility, and a life dedicated to the herd. The spiritual world of the Mundari is as rich and complex as their daily lives. Their beliefs are deeply rooted in the natural world and a profound respect for their ancestors. They believe in a supreme creator known as Ngun, who is distant and powerful. However, their daily spiritual practices are more focused on the spirits of the land and the ancestors who came before them. The Mundari believe that the spirits of their deceased relatives continue to watch over them, offering guidance and protection. These ancestral spirits can influence the health of the herd and the prosperity of the family, so it is vital to honor them through rituals and offerings. Nature itself is sacred. The rivers, the trees, and the earth are all inhabited by spirits that must be respected. The Mundari do not see themselves as masters of the environment, but as part of it. This belief fosters a deep sense of stewardship and conservation. They take only what they need from the land and are careful not to disrupt the delicate balance of the ecosystem. The cattle camps themselves are considered sacred spaces. They are places of life, community, and spiritual connection. The constant presence of the herd and the smoke from the dung fires create an atmosphere of reverence and peace. elders play a crucial role as spiritual leaders within the community. They are the ones who communicate with the ancestral spirits and interpret their wishes. When someone falls ill or when the herd is in danger, the community turns to the elders for guidance. They perform rituals to appease the spirits, often involving offerings of milk or tobacco. These ceremonies are not just about seeking supernatural help. They are also important social events that reinforce community bonds and reaffirm their shared beliefs. The wisdom of the elders is seen as a direct link to the spiritual world, a vital resource for navigating the challenges of life. The cattle hold a special place in Mundari spirituality. They are seen as a bridge between the human and the divine. The health and happiness of the herd are considered a reflection of the community's spiritual well-being. A thriving herd indicates that the ancestors are pleased. For this reason, rituals involving cattle are among the most important. When a new camp is established, an ox might be sacrificed to bless the ground and ensure the safety of the people and their animals. Through these practices, the Mundari maintain harmony between themselves, their cattle, and the spiritual forces that govern their world. The arrival of British colonial rule in the early 20th century brought profound changes to the region. The colonial administrators sought to impose their own systems of government and law, which often clashed with the traditional ways of the Mundari. They viewed the Mundari's pastoral lifestyle as primitive and tried to encourage them to settle down and adopt agriculture. The Mundari, however, were fiercely independent and deeply attached to their culture. They saw little reason to abandon a way of life that had sustained them for centuries. Their resistance was not always violent, but it was steadfast and determined. The Mundari resisted cultural change through their unwavering commitment to their traditions. They continued to move with their herds, following the ancient rhythms of the seasons. They upheld their own systems of justice, relying on the wisdom of the elders rather than colonial courts. The introduction of foreign goods and ideas had some impact, but the core of their culture, the central importance of cattle, remained unshaken. This period of colonial rule was a test of their identity. By holding fast to their values, the Mundari demonstrated remarkable cultural resilience in the face of immense external pressure. The latter half of the 20th century brought even greater hardship. Two long and brutal civil wars ravaged Sudan, tearing the country apart. The conflict brought immense suffering to the people of the south, including the Mundari. Their lands became a battleground, and they were caught between warring factions. Many lost their lives, their homes, and most devastatingly, their cattle. The theft of cattle became a weapon of war, used to cripple communities and strip them of their wealth and identity. Displacement became a grim reality for thousands, forcing them to flee their ancestral lands. Despite these unimaginable challenges, the Mundari people endured. Their strong community bonds and deep-rooted traditions provided a source of strength and resilience. In times of loss, families and clans supported one another, sharing what little they had. They found ways to protect their herds, sometimes moving them to more remote areas to escape the fighting. The stories of this period are filled with both sorrow and incredible courage. The survival of the Mundari through decades of war is a powerful testament to their spirit and their unbreakable connection to their culture and their cattle. Their resilience ensured that their unique way of life was not extinguished. The birth of South Sudan as an independent nation in 2011 brought new hopes, but also new challenges for the Mundari. The modern world is slowly making its way into their lands. The spread of mobile phones, manufactured goods, and Western-style education is beginning to influence the younger generation. Some Mundari now travel to nearby towns to trade or find work, exposing them to different ways of life. This brings both opportunities and risks. The cash economy offers new possibilities, but it also threatens to erode the traditional values that have held their society together for so long. Yet, despite these modern influences, the core of Mundari culture remains remarkably intact. The cattle camps still operate much as they have for centuries. The days are still governed by the needs of the herd. The elders are still respected and traditional ceremonies are still performed with reverence. For many, Mundari, the pull of tradition, is stronger than the lure of the modern world. They see their way of life not as something to be left behind, but as a source of pride and identity. They continue to find meaning and purpose in their deep connection to their cattle and their community. The Mundari culture is a precious part of our world's human heritage. In an age of rapid globalization, they stand as a rare example of a large-scale cattle culture that has survived into the 21st century. Their society offers a different perspective on wealth, community, and our relationship with the natural world. They show us that a rich and meaningful life does not depend on material possessions, but on strong social bonds and a deep connection to the environment. Their sustainable practices and profound respect for their animals hold valuable lessons for all of us. The future of the Mundari people is uncertain. They face ongoing challenges from climate change, regional instability, and the pressures of modernization. Yet their history is one of resilience. They have adapted and survived for generations, and their culture continues to thrive against the odds. The image of a Mundari herder standing proudly among his horned cattle at sunrise is a symbol of endurance. It is a living legacy, a powerful reminder of the diversity of human experience and the importance of preserving the ancient traditions that enrich our planet. Their story is far